Good morning, television family. We have almost made it to the weekend. It is Friday, the 16th day of August, 2024. I'm Dan Kuntz. Thanks for starting your day with us. And Mother Nature is going to give us a very interesting weekend. We got a lot of stuff going on, a lot of instability in the air. Right now, the relative humidity is 64%, and for us, that's pretty damp, and we're the dry spot. The relative humidity in Moses Lake is 82%. That gives you an idea of how unstable things are. We have a flash flood watch. It begins at 11 o'clock this morning, and it goes through this evening because there could be some pop-up, rather intense thunderstorms along the east coast of the Cascades. We're at the very lower part. When you think about it geographically, we're going to show you a slide. We're at the very bottom part of this flash flood advisory, or flash flood watch, I should say, which goes up all the way to the Canadian border. There is a pretty good chance of something coming down this afternoon. The big story is going to be on Saturday. That's when the fairly active wave is going to come in, actually almost directly from the south. And we have a very good chance of rain on Saturday night. And boy, do we need rain. Of course, the thunderstorms associated with that. Could see some very intense cells of downpour on Saturday night. Not too dramatic today. Saturday is what we're really keeping an eye on. We got a lot of weather to talk about, and we will do exactly that here in just a couple of minutes. Plus, we'll have news, plus sports. The less we talk about the Mariners yesterday, the better. We'll show you highlights anyway. They only got one hit. They were probably lucky to get that. No, the big, of course, local sports story is the Wenatchee Apple Sox. The championship is tonight in Portland at Walker Stadium. The champions of the South Division of the West Coast League, the Portland Pickles, will take on our very own Wenatchee Apple Sox. We have not won the league championship in whatever league we have been in. The Apple Sox were established in 1999. They've won a lot of championships, but they haven't won one in 11 years. And Mitch Darlington has taken this team all the way to the very cusp of the championship. In the back half of the program, via Zoom, we'll be visiting, we know, with Joel Norman, the broadcasting voice of the Wenatchee Wild, and hopefully Mitch Darlington will be joining us as well. They actually went to Portland yesterday. They went late yesterday morning, so they stayed overnight in the Rose City, got some batting practice in, got used to the field, the quirks and stuff like that. We're going to talk about all that stuff, and then we're going to have the game for you tonight at 6:30. Make plans. The arrangements have been done. We'll be picking up the video feed from the Portland Pickles. We'll be piping in Joel Norman's call from Sunny FM. Thank you to those guys. So you'll be able to watch the West Coast League Championship game tonight right here on the NCAA Live channel. We're pretty pumped about it. Lots to get to today. 3 minutes after the hour, let's go. With our tour around the valley, you can see we have a few high clouds out there. You notice how shorter the days are. In fact, sunrise this morning was at 5:59. Tomorrow, the sun won't rise until after 6:01. We continue to lose about 3 minutes of daylight a day, which is what happens once we get into mid-August from our Wenatchee Heights camera, and there are a few bugs floating around up there. Camera number 2 from Localtel's PTZ, that is looking across to a structure fire that was toned out almost exactly 2 hours ago, shortly after 5 a.m. this morning, of a structure fire off Sunset Highway in East Wenatchee. We do not know what kind of structure it was, whether it was a garage or a home or a building, whatever. They're still on the scene now. That's some of the residual smoke, but it was a quite intense fire that's broke out, or was toned out, I should say, about 5 o'clock this morning. So all the fire agencies are responding to that. We'll have more on this, by the way, for the news tonight. So just a quick shot of that. Next up on our tour, back up to Lake Wenatchee, where the salmon season has been a record-setting season. I wonder how many salmon are left. They're grabbing them left and right. Just a great view there. You can see a little sliver of Fish Lake in the upper right-hand corner. You can see the bottom of Lake Wenatchee, where the Wenatchee River begins. You can see the entire Cato Glen complex as well, and you can see the clouds coming in. And finally, up to the upper Chelan Butte. Same camera we showed you yesterday. It is a pretty spectacular view. That is on top of the Chelan Butte, a little over 4,000 feet in elevation. I think 4,100 feet above sea level is where that camera is, and is pointed across the Columbia River to the Waterville Plateau. You can actually make out a little bit of Waterville. Of course, the NCW Fair begins next week. It is fair time. The Grant County Fair this week, the NCW Fair next week in Waterville, then the weekend after Labor Day, the Chelan County Fair in Cashmere. So I hope we all fare at the fairs this year. Flash flood watch. I mentioned it at the top of the show. The timeline begins at 11 o'clock this morning, and it goes until, well, it doesn't have an expiration date, actually. It just says tonight. So this is your flash flood watches for today. And as you can see, it's the green area, and we're kind of right in the middle of it, the Wenatchee Valley. But it's all the upper elevations as this first of a couple of systems begin to roll in. The higher the elevation and the farther north you go, you have the better chance of seeing some downpours. And of course, what they're really worried about is flash flooding and rock and mudslides in areas that have been prone to wildfires in the last 10 or 12 years because there isn't any vegetation to hold the soil down. That is the flash flood watches for thunderstorms for today. And then, as we already mentioned, Saturday night, we are looking at rain. Now, we are going to get rain on Saturday night. We're pretty sure about this. This is the second wave that's going to come up, and we are right in the bullseye. Right here in central Washington, we have about a 70% chance of some showers. We have about a 30% chance of some brief thunderstorms, but the same deal that we just talked about. There is, you get heavy rain over steep terrain with very little vegetation, and it doesn't take long for a mudslide or a flash flood to occur, and they can happen very, very rapidly, especially in those rather intense cells of brief heavy rain. So when was the last time we had a good old-fashioned big-time thunderstorm here in the Wenatchee Valley? It's been a while, but all the ingredients for this recipe are starting to line up. So get ready for what could be a very interesting Saturday evening and Saturday night. From the National Weather Service in detail, here we go. Again, flash flood watch begins at 11 o'clock this morning. It doesn't have an expiration time. They're just going to leave it open until they're pretty sure we're out of the woods. High today of about 86. But again, you look out, we saw that, late in the afternoon, early evening yesterday. Things got a little gray and a little hairy, but nothing really broke out. Better chance of that certainly on Saturday night. 62 for the overnight low. Saturday it'll be sunny in the morning as the day progresses and the short wave comes in. The clouds will be thickening up by the end of the day on Saturday. Lots of clouds, and then Saturday night rain likely for the Wenatchee Valley. Obviously thunderstorms possible right through the evening hours. Eventually it goes away, but you get in those thunderstorms. We mentioned it already. You could get some serious rain. We need rain. What we don't want is the lightning, of course, but it looks good that we are going to get some much needed rain on Saturday night. And then that wave exits about 2-3 a.m. on Sunday morning, and Sunday looks gorgeous. Sunshine, 86. And then the clouds kind of hit and miss. We'll call it partly cloudy, partly sunny, depending whether you're an optimist or a pessimist, with highs just about normal for this time of the year. All right, that's your forecast. News, it's on the agenda next. In 2 minutes, you're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
I'm Jen Mueller. Watch for my show, I Cook, You Measure on NCW Life. It's part cooking instruction, part entertainment, and all about connecting over food and wine with your favorite Northwest athletes.
Watch I Cook, You Measure with Jen Mueller Mondays at 1, Wednesdays at 2, Fridays at 11 a.m., and Saturday and Sundays at 10:30 p.m. right here on the NCW Life channel.
Enjoy the sounds of summer from your very own pool and spa. Blue Lagoon is now scheduling pool installations for this summer. Call today to schedule a free consultation for a custom San Juan fiberglass pool. And let the experts at Blue Lagoon handle the construction, installation, and regular maintenance. Turn your boring backyard into vacation paradise this summer with industry-leading San Juan pool. No need to go off the deep end. Relax knowing you're in great hands with Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa.
The family at the Epladolin want to help your loved one feel at ease in their new home environment. Epladolin offers beautiful one-bedroom and studio apartments. Residents enjoy 3 delicious home-style meals a day, laundry service, housekeeping service, and encouragement to make themselves cozy in their new home. Epladolin welcomes your family to come and visit their family. Epladolin Independent and Assisted Living. They make the complicated easy for you. Call today for a tour.
Are you hungry enough to eat the end out of a rhinoceros? I know how you feel. Come on out to Blueberry Hills. You'll have a great time. We've got excellent food, a feet on the furniture kind of experience, and we won't hustle you out of your table. If you want a real farm experience, Make the trek to Manson to Blueberry Hills, where you sit, you pick, you eat, and you visit. So come on out and see what all the fuss is about. Blueberry Hills in Manson. It's where the world is coming to.
There are a few clouds hanging around the valley. We're at 66 degrees. It'll be sunny most of the day today, at least for the Wenatchee Valley. But again, a flash flood watch begins at 11 o'clock. A pop-up sudden thunderstorm or a sudden downpour of rain is a possibility this afternoon. And we are going to have rain and maybe even some thunder on Saturday night. It is 11 minutes after the hour. The November election could pit a Republican against an independent for Douglas County Commissioner. The latest primary ballot count is out for the District 2 seat, and independent candidate Paula LaManna has squeaked ahead of Republican challenger Katie Schaefer for second place. She has a 21-vote lead. Paula LaManna does over Katie Schaefer. There are 60 ballots yet to be counted, but of course those 60 ballots in Douglas County may not necessarily be from the District 2 seat. So LaManna is a fitness instructor and a former firefighter. She has just over 20% of the vote from among the 5 candidates. Of course, the top 2 vote getters from the primary advance to the general election. Looks pretty good right now for Paula LaManna to squeak into the general election. Of course, Rock Island Mayor Randy Agnew, a Republican, has secured his place on the ballot with 29% of the vote. Trial has commenced in Yakima for a former Peshasta man accused in the death of a toddler. Terrence Chip Ogle is 31 years old now. He's been held in the Yakima County Jail since April of 2020. That's when he was charged with second-degree murder in the death of 15-month-old Alexander Lynch. The boy suffered blunt force trauma, including multiple skull fractures, before his death. Police say Ogle was dating the child's mother and told police Alexander fell from an ottoman in the home and hit his head on the floor. Judge Kevin Knott is presiding over Ogle's trial. It started on Tuesday with jury selection. The trial is expected to last for at least a couple of weeks. The Chelan-Douglas Health District went on Facebook and officially addressed rumors, I don't know where these came from, they're just rumors, of algae in local portions of the Columbia River. Cyanobacteria is a toxic algae most commonly found in lakes and ponds. It appears as a green scum or a blue scum right on top of the water. The health district assured Facebook users that the bacterial growth seldom occurs in rivers. Rivers are cold, and of course they flow, which makes it almost impossible for algae to grow on it. There is also no confirmed blooms of toxic algae in local portions of the river. On the official Washington State toxic algae map, if you do witness a possible toxic algae bloom, though, you do want to report it to the health district's website. The Wenatchee Medical Group and physicians of Confluence Health have donated $25,000 towards Moses Lake School District extracurricular activities. Of course, as you know, the district in Moses Lake faces a $20 million budget crisis that's led to mass layoffs and the inability to put activities like sports and arts programs on the table this year. Community Athletics and Activities is a nonprofit that has been spearheading the fundraising effort so they can do sports. They have a goal to raise $2.6 million for this school year. Other companies who've donated large amounts to the cause include the agribusiness giant J.R. Simplot. They donated $50,000, and the owners of the Fairfield Inn and Suites in Moses Lake, they chipped in $10,000. Last week, the CAA held a bowling night at Lake Bowl in Moses Lake, and that brought in $24,000 in just one night. All foothill trails are now open again for hikers. The Chelan-Douglas Land Trust announced the trails that were closed because of the Balsam Root Fire back in June have been given the clear to reopen. The Balsam Root Fire was caused by fireworks. It was actually on the 4th of July near Horse Lake Road. A lot of the trails were reopened just after the fire was put out, although some with burned sections remained closed. Well, the Land Trust says the fire has left the landscape fragile. They are advising folks to stay on the trail to protect the area as it recovers and also prevents the spread of weeds. It's the rare wildfire that causes, it only exists in Chelan County, the Wenatchee Mountain checker mallow. It grows only in certain areas, basically in forests and gullies around Camas Meadows. and Blewett Pass. And every year, a bunch of folks get together and see how they're doing. University of Washington, the Department of Natural Resources, the Forest Service, a bunch of agencies. They farm out, they count the number of checker mallows, they monitor their health. They did the survey back in June. Our cameras tagged along, and here's what we found out.
My name's Dave Wilderman. I'm a natural areas program ecologist with the Department of Natural Resources here in Washington. We're monitoring a population of a very rare plant species, the Wenatchee mountain checker mallow, that's only found here and within about 5 miles of this site, a handful of other spots. And this is by far the largest population of it in the world. That's the only place it's found in the world. So it's about typically 2 feet tall, maybe, the flowering stalk, and it has these really nice little pink flowers. It's related to other mallows, which people might be familiar with, but a little head of pink flowers. Leaves are about 3 inches by 3 inches.
So this is a really rare endemic, known pretty much only in this area that we are standing in, which is the Okanagan-Wenatchee forest. So it's very rare. There's a lot of really important pollinator connections, and it's something that we're working really hard both through monitoring as well as outplanting introduction work.
We're it's long-term monitoring to track the status of the population here. So each year we rotate around to different parts of the site and count the plants and map them out so we can look at the distribution and how they're moving on the site. Within the Wenatchee Mountains here, which are kind of a separate, geologically a separate mountain range from the Cascades, and the thought is that they weren't very heavily glaciated back when the main glaciers, the continental glaciers, didn't come quite this far south. There weren't many what are called alpine glaciers, so plant species like the Wenatchee mountain checker mallow kind of survived in this little island of habitat through the glaciation.
Are there particular threats to this plant population right now?
Yeah, there's invasive species are a main concern. We do a lot of invasive species control, weed control here at this site. Excessive sort of trampling or compaction of the soil is really can be a problem. And then changing of the hydrology, so the plant's really dependent on seasonal flooding and wet soils into the growing season. And so anything that kind of modifies that hydrology is a potential concern, including, the predicted shrinking of snowpack, because these meadows are mostly fed by melting snow. And so as the snowpack is reduced over time, they'll dry out.
Climate change, habitat loss, hydrology changes, your typical fire would be a big issue. Fire, since it has such a narrow range of population, a big fire in here could take out the whole population really quickly. It's kind of a treasure hunt. So we're all walking through sometimes thick brush, but when you see one, it's really rewarding. And there's not a lot of them. There's a reason it's rare. So it's really fun to, just kind of the camaraderie of the whole thing is really nice. Not only are we doing the monitoring, but we're really working hard to do some reintroduction work and find places where it might be likely to grow so that we can spread the population out so that it is more protected against fire or any kind of localized disturbance. So Rare Care is working with Forest Service and some of our other partners to find areas with habitat, and then we plant checker mallow out. We grow them out in the greenhouse and seeds, and then we plant them out. So we're doing some work for introduction as well.
Is it rough to try and cultivate a species like this in a controlled environment?
Yes it is. It's quite challenging. This one is not even one of the most picky ones, but it still is not like growing vegetables. It has some pretty significant requirements that we're still just learning about because, again, it's so rare and we know so little about it.
That looks like fun work. And that is the news at 20 minutes after the hour. On what has been a very busy news week, we'll try to put together one more newscast. We're not going to try. We're going to do it. It'll be on the air at 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock. Apple Sox baseball at 6:30, and then the news after the WCL championship game. That's on television. You can watch the news anytime you want, as long as you have an internet hookup, and I'm pretty sure you do. Our news will be up and running on our homepage, ncwlife.com, our Facebook page, our YouTube page. You can't miss it. We try to make our newscast as accessible to our viewers as possible. If you haven't downloaded our app yet, you can do it right now by clicking on the old QR code right to the right. And don't forget, if there's something out there you think is newsworthy, give us an email, news@ncwlife.com. The Mariners, but the Apple Sox. Yeah, baby. Sports is next. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Want to stay up to date on the latest news in the area? Tired of paying for your news? Download the NCW Life app now. No subscriptions necessary. Get news, weather, sports, and more live as it happens. Available for iPhone and Android in the App Store. Local news at your fingertips. Don't miss the stories that matter to you. Stay connected. Download the NCW Life app now.
Global Car Care has the best customer service in the Valley. From the moment you walk in the door, their goal is to help you stay on the road, so you can keep doing what's important to you. Global Car Care certified ASE mechanics stand behind your automotive repairs.
When you buy tires at Les Schwab, you're getting more than just tires. You're getting America's best tire warranty, 60-day satisfaction guarantee, no hassle road hazard protection, and free maintenance for the life of your tires. So if something happens to your tire on the road, we'll fix it, or we'll replace it, no questions asked. Other places make you pay extra for that kind of protection, but at Les Schwab, it's included with every set of tires, because more warranty means less worry, and nobody stands by their tires like Les Schwab. Get more from less.
At Confluence Health, our mission is clear: to provide exceptional care for our community. We believe in healthcare that's personal and local, because we're just like you, members of this great community.
We are Confluence.
Local care by and for our community.
Local care by and for our community.
Local care by and for our community.
We are Confluence.
23 minutes after the hour, the Mariners got a hit. That was it. One lousy, stinking little hit. Javier Baez's two-run home run in the 8th inning provided the winning margin, and the Tigers complete the three-game sweep with a 2-1 victory yesterday. The Mariners got 7 scoreless innings from their starter for the second game in a row, but their inability to score runs once again was their undoing.
Chop something in the gap right here, 3-2. That works as well. 1-0 Mariners. Ball 4. He's walked 4 in this frame. RBI for Turner. Scoring is Polanco. Everybody up 90 feet.
Baez always very aggressive.
Javi drills it. Deep left field. Arozarena at the wall. Javi Baez gives the Tigers the lead out of nowhere. The first hit against Munoz since the 4th of July is fireworks at Comerica Park.
Baez smokes it.
That is one of the most unexpected things you could ever imagine. On the ground, third base side, Urshela is over. His throw is on time, and the Tigers sweep the Mariners out of the...
Well, the Mariners scored a total of 4 runs in their 3-game series. They are in Pittsburgh today to begin a 3-game set. Logan Gilbert, by the way, will start for the M's. Astros did not play yesterday. Remember, they've won 8 in a row, so that's good news. But the Mariners lost, so now we're 3 back of Houston in the AL West after their 2-1 loss to the Tigers. The Twins nipped the Rangers 3-2. Same deal, the A's just by a run over the New York City Metropolitans. 2 days of practice wrapped up in Tennessee yesterday for the Seahawks. Apparently, things got a little testy. between the two squads. They've been practicing for a couple of days, and things got a little skirmishy, if you will. Head coach Mike McDonald was happy to see his guys stop fighting.
Day 2 down. It's another good day of work. Again, just looking forward to seeing the tape. But the guys came out ready to practice. It's hotter today, but we got through it strong, and look forward to watching it. And good day.
Looked like the defense was having a pretty good day. What'd you like about it, the way they were able to read what Tennessee was doing?
Yeah, we watched yesterday's tape. There's a lot of good things on tape, but there's a lot of things that are room for improvement on really both sides of the ball. But we had a good meeting yesterday. Guys came out focused, so it felt like we addressed most of those things. But again, look, can't really tell, but we were making plays on the football, which was really nice. Guys seemed like we were on top of things in the red zone, which, things move faster, especially against a new offense, new schemes, things you haven't seen. So that was encouraging.
The Seahawks and the Titans will play a game that does not count tomorrow morning at 4:05. It'll be televised on King 5 TV. And here we go, folks. The Wenatchee Apple Sox will play for their first league championship since 2013 tonight. They're in the Rose City as the West Coast League's Northern Division champions, and that's us, face the Southern Division champions, the Portland Pickles. Portland beat Corvallis 4-1 on Wednesday night to end the Knights' streak of 7 consecutive titles. We have been granted the rights to broadcast tonight's championship. At 6:30, we'll stream the video provided by Portland. We'll pipe in Joel Norman's play-by-play from the Apple Sox Radio Network and Sunny FM. And I just got confirmation that both Joel Norman and head coach Mitch Darlington will be joining me via Zoom in about 10 minutes. Don't go anywhere. And those are just some of the games that people are playing at 26 minutes after the hour. There are 9 obscure holidays you can celebrate today if you choose to. It's Independence Day in Gabon. It is Statehood Day in Hawaii, even though Hawaii didn't join the Union until August 31st. It's always the third Friday in August is Statehood Day in Hawaii for whatever reason. It's Restoration Day in the Dominican Republic. It's National Rum Day. It's National Tell a Joke Day. National Roller Coaster Day. It's Men's Grooming Day. It's World Bratwurst Day. But no, a friendly reminder that you are being watched. It is Surveillance Day. They used to be novelties, and now they're everywhere that you don't even notice them anymore. How many surveillance cameras are there worldwide? Nobody really knows. Best guesstimate, about 375 million surveillance cameras worldwide. 65% of those cameras are in Asia, and most of those are in China. In fact, China has about 200 million closed-circuit television cameras in their country. They're expected to have 400 million cameras in the next couple of years. And China, of course, uses facial recognition technology. Just a little reminder on World Surveillance Day. If you're out and about in public, you can't get away with it anymore because the odds are pretty good they got you on camera. And who's kidding who? It is a crime-solving tool. It's got some other issues, but surveillance cameras have solved crimes that otherwise would not have been solved because we were able to see the whole damn thing. 28 minutes after the hour. Today in history, there's gold in them thar hills. The latest news from the Klondike, our understanding is that Skookum Jim Mason, George Carmack, and Dawson Charlie have discovered gold in the Klondike River up there in Canada, way up in Canada. Here comes the Klondike Gold Rush. Now, when these things happen, it's really hard to keep it secret. This was on August 16th, 1896. It wasn't until early the following year when word got out, when word reached Seattle and San Francisco and the West Coast. That didn't happen for quite some time, but here comes the stampede of prospectors. About 100,000 prospectors boogied off to the Klondike. It's way up in the Yukon. It's in the very northwestern corner of Canada. How many people became wealthy with the Great Klondike Gold Rush? Almost none. Very few people actually made money. The majority went up there, looked for gold, didn't find any, and went home with nothing. This was 128 years ago when they found gold in them thar hills. It was inevitable this was going to happen in baseball. You used a baseball until you couldn't see it anymore. You didn't replace blackened and beat up and scuffed up baseball with a brand new white baseball until you absolutely had to. Ray Chapman of the Cleveland Indians was known to crowd the plate. Of course, this was 1920. They did not wear batting helmets. Carl Mays of the New York Yankees was a submarine pitcher. And the inevitable happened. Ray Chapman is hit on the head by a fastball thrown by Carl Mays. He was okay. He staggered off the field. They took him away. They sent him off to the hospital. They found out he had a fractured skull. The next day, Ray Chapman of the Cleveland Indians dies after being hit on the head, and it changed a lot of things in baseball. For one thing, after this, whenever a baseball got scuffed up or darkened up, they immediately replaced it with a brand new white ball so you could see the damn thing. That was 104 years ago today. And 2 American legends died on the same date. Today should be celebrated as Overindulgence Day, or Nothing to Moderation Day, because 2 American legends died on August 16th, both of them for just overindulging in the things they love so much. 76 years ago today, August 16th, 1948, Babe Ruth dies of throat cancer in a hospital in Midtown Manhattan. He was only 53 years old. His body would lie in state at Yankee Stadium. Over 100,000 mourners would view his open casket before he was interred. The great Babe Ruth dies of overliving on this date 76 years ago today and 47 years ago today, August 17th, 1977. Another man who liked to overindulge in things. Elvis Presley, the king of rock and roll, dies in his bathroom at his Graceland estate of essentially a drug-induced heart attack. He just, you know what killed Elvis. Elvis was 42 years old. If you were around on August 17th, 1977, and you remember, and I do, here's what you saw.
Here is a bulletin from Channel 5 News. Singer Elvis Presley has died in a Memphis, Tennessee hospital. The 45-year-old entertainer apparently died of a respiratory ailment. No other details were given. Repeating, singer Elvis Presley has died at the age of 45. A complete report tonight on Newswatch at 10.
Good evening. Elvis Presley died today. He was 42. Apparently it was a heart attack. He was found at his home in Memphis, not breathing. His road manager tried to revive him. He failed. A hospital tried to revive him. It failed. His doctor pronounced him dead at 3 o'clock this afternoon. The end at an early age of one of the 2 most spectacular careers in the history of American entertainment, the other being Frank Sinatra's.
Elvis Presley was just 42. Babe Ruth was only 53. But they made their impact on American culture. Both died on the same date, ironically. And finally, birthdays. One heavenly birthday, the greatest jazz pianist of all time, Bill Evans. The music of Bill Evans is pretty much a Sunday morning staple with me. I got the Sunday paper, I got my coffee, and I got Bill Evans on the turntable. The legendary Bill Evans, who played with everybody, and then with his trio, Sunday at the Village Vanguard is one of the greatest albums of any genre, the great Bill Evans. And like a lot of jazz legends, kind of like Elvis and like Babe Ruth, Bill Evans didn't live very long either. He died at the age of 51 in 1980. We got some living birthdays. James Cameron is 70. He is the 2nd highest grossing film director of all time behind Steven Spielberg. His films have grossed over $8 billion worldwide. 3 of his films are among the top 4 highest grossing films ever. Avatar, The Way of Water, and Titanic. He done good. He's 70 years old today. Celebrating her 66th birthday, the best-selling female recording artist of all time and the most successful solo artist in the history of the Billboard Hot 100, Madonna Louise Ciccone. Madonna is 66 years old today, and Steve Carell celebrates birthday number 62. Good for Steve. That's what she said. Special thanks to our platinum sponsor, Alpine Air. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. Mike Mignotti has an opinion. Can't remember what it is. And then if we push all the buttons correctly, it looks like we're going to be able to do it. Live from probably their hotel room in the Rose City, the voice of the Apple Sox, Joel Norman, and the head coach, Mitch Darlington, will join me via Zoom as we talk about tonight's championship game. It's next. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
What once was old now is new to the NCW Life channel. Tune in for Bonanza, Superman, The Andy Griffith Show, The Beverly Hillbillies, The Invisible Man, The Lone Ranger, and The Lucy Show. Check your program guide for classic programming on NCW Life channel, your local TV station. Highlander Golf Course and Grill, located in East Wenatchee, offers terrific views and challenging play for golfers at every skill level. From the golf course to the grill, you don't need to be a member to dine in style and play golf too. Highlander's well-groomed fairways and greens keep it difficult, yet friendly for your regular rounds of golf or a new destination for you and your out-of-town friends. Contact the Highlander Pro Shop today to schedule your tee time, outing, or tournament. Open 7 days a week, where everyone is welcome to play and eat.
A ductless unit from Carrier can keep anyone comfortable. Take Shelly, for instance. She finds me time in her new attic-turned-home gym. And with her Carrier ductless unit, the temperature is always perfect. No matter how intense her workout gets. Carrier. Total comfort, totally happy.
Turn to the experts, Carrier and Alpine Air. Heat and air, call Alpine Air.
Here's your coffee. That'll be $5.
Thanks.
Oh, it's only $5.
Oh, I like paying double.
Why?
I've always paid more.
You wouldn't pay double for coffee. So don't pay double on your heating bill. Cut your heating bills by up to half when you switch to a heat pump or ductless mini split and get cash back from Chelan PUD plus federal tax credits. Learn more at chelanpud.org/save.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnati, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. So, when I go into a retail store, I choose my items that I want to purchase. I bring them to the checkout stand, prepared to pay. And lo and behold, there at the cash register is a tip jar. A tip jar? What am I tipping this employee for? For taking my money and accurately reading what the cash register says my change is? Now, tipping is getting way out of hands, folks. I can and do understand tipping food service folks, and I regularly tip 20% or more. I really do. And I tip cab and Uber drivers and folks who deliver food to my house. I also tip baristas because, honestly, my daughter used to be one. But a tip jar at a retail establishment, I can just imagine the next time I go into my local hardware store, pick up my light bulbs and a screwdriver that I need, and when I go to pay, there's going to be a tip jar on the counter. Sorry, ain't gonna have none of my money in it. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnati, and that's my opinion.
Hi folks, welcome to Save Mart. How can we help you today?
We're looking for a recliner.
Okay, right this way. Go ahead and move this chase on the other side. You can just
Great, I want that one. I like that one.
That's a great choice.
And I want this one as well.
Okay.
And I definitely want this one.
Ooh. You'll find it at Save Mart. Full service at a low, low price.
Now there are even more reasons to meet at the Pybus Market. Outdoor dining and tastings, the fabulous Farmers Market, Saturday artisans on the concourse, and your favorites all week long. No matter the reason, it's always time to meet at the Pybus Market. Pybus Market, where community meets.
When you've been in business for 40 years, it's because you understand change and you put members first, always. Now Works is announcing a change in their membership model. Up to 6 people on one membership that you can mix and match. The more people, the bigger the discounts. Introducing the Works shared membership model. One membership, friends and family and flexibility. Works, the cleanest, friendliest, most helpful gyms you and your friends will ever join.
Here we go. Okay. Through the miracle of modern technology, there they are. The handsome and talented Joel Norman and the even more handsome and quite frankly more talented head coach Mitch Darlington. They are in the Rose City. They traveled down yesterday. Got a chance to go to Walker Stadium, check out the field. Every field has its own little quirks. And tonight at 6 o'clock, it is for the West Coast League Championship. This has been a magical run for the Wenatchee Apple Sox. First of all, good morning, Mitch. Good morning, Joel. How was the trip down to the Rose City?
Good morning, Dan. It was, I think, a pretty good trip overall. Excited to be here, and nice to have the day ahead beforehand. We had to hold dinner as a team yesterday, so thought that it was really nice to kind of get that opportunity ahead of the big game.
Yeah, I was able to travel with the wife and kids and follow the bus yesterday, so I had my wife drive a little bit and lean the seat back and catch up on some sleep. So it was a good trip down.
I was going to ask you about that, Mitch, because you haven't had a chance to see a great deal of your family this year because it's August 16th and we're still playing baseball. There's only 2 teams left. How's your wife and kids holding up with Dad missing a great deal of the summer?
Yeah, it's definitely been interesting. My wife has been a rock star all summer long. Taking care of the kids. I got a 10-month-old at home that's still waking up at night. So we were joking last night, maybe I'll jump over to Joel's room and get a couple of extra hours of sleep in this room so I'm ready for today. But no, she's been great. It's been a crazy last week. Me being a teacher, we're starting school and AD stuff next week, and but it's been a fun playoff run.
Wednesday night, after a thrilling and quite frankly heart attack-inducing 1-0 victory over the Bellingham Bills, it was maybe 45 minutes later when we got word that Portland had upset Corvallis to win the Southern Division title. That game took a long time. It was a slog. It took an hour longer than our game up here in Wenatchee. How soon after you knew that the Pickles were going to be your opponent on Friday night did you hop on StatCast and all that stuff and said, okay, what do I need to learn about Portland? Did you do homework Wednesday night, or did you just let yourself enjoy the evening and start going to work on Thursday?
Yeah, definitely enjoyed Wednesday evening. Made the drive back home up to Chelan, got home, and then had 2 or 3 different coaches throughout the league that we're close with already sending me some scouting reports. So kind of slept on those. Woke up Thursday morning and kind of got on the phone with our assistant coach, our pitching coach, and started hammering out kind of a game plan for the guys, and then started just slowly feeding the guys information through text. Just trying to give our guys a heads up as much as possible. I knew yesterday was going to be a big travel day. We wouldn't have time to really practice and do a walkthrough. So just trying to get the mind prepared. A lot of these guys have not played in Walker Stadium. So kind of getting them prepared for that type of environment. It's a little crazy there. And just getting them kind of already thinking about how this is going to feel and look and what they're going to be experiencing.
Walker Stadium is a bit of a bandbox. It's only like a little over 300 down the lines, and center field isn't very much either. Were some of the power hitters like Cam Hoyland and a few of the other guys, were they licking their chops when they saw the dimensions of the outfield fence?
Yeah, I think some of them are just excited to be playing for a title. I don't know if they thought that much about it. But we do have a couple interesting ones. We have Evan Cloyd, our first baseman, who played with the Portland Pickles last summer. And then we have Cooper Witten, an outfielder from UW, who's been our everyday right fielder, and he played for the Portland Pickles last summer. So both these guys are familiar with the park. and I think kind of itching to go play their old team and try to take a title from them.
What are some of the things you worked on when you got down in Portland? You did a light workout at Walker Stadium to figure out, okay, how much room does the third baseman and the first baseman have between dugouts and foul territory? How does the field bounce? Talk about what you guys did yesterday during your brief hitting and fielding exercises to prep for tonight's game.
Yeah, the big game plan that we've just been talking through is the amount that this team likes to bunt. I think our fans are going to see it tonight. It's openly out there. Everyone knows it, man. They get guys at first. Doesn't matter if it's the first inning, second inning, early on, late in the game. They sack bunt a lot. So if you can't field bunts and play good bunt defense, it's going to be a tough night for you. And then the other thing, first and third, a lot of times they like to squeeze. So third baseman's got to be able to come get a baseball and take it out. You know, and we've been playing pretty clean, pretty well, good bunt defense. Our corner infielders have played well all season long, and just got to get your pitcher to be able to get off the mound and field bunts if you're going to have a chance to beat this team.
The scouting report on the Portland Pickles is pretty simple. They're good. 17-8 in the first half, 23-6 in the second half, 40-14 overall, second best record in the league, one game behind Corvallis for the best record in the league. But they beat the Knights, and if you beat the Knights, you are by definition good. And if you're this deep into the playoffs, just like the Wenatchee Apple Sox, they're good.
Yeah, I think no question about that, Dan. The way I looked at it was the fact that anyone won the second half besides Ridgefield with the start that they got off to, that says a lot about that. Now, Portland didn't even win the second half. They had the second best record overall, so they had home field advantage, long tub. This is a heck of a challenge, and it's, you know, it's fun for both teams because neither of us have seen each other this year. We were talking about it yesterday, and it's strange waking up and facing a team we haven't seen yet this year because we haven't been able to say that since probably early July. So, you know, just with divisional play and teams like that, I guess the Vandalics would be the other one, but it's been neat waking up that way and being like, okay, this is a challenge, but we don't fully know what to expect. There aren't guys who were circling where when we played Victoria, you knew, okay, you know, game one, hey, Carson Cormier is going to be good. We've got to find a way to hit him. Placing Bellingham, you know, hey, their 3-4 hitters have been there all summer. We got to know how to get those guys out. This is a new challenge. This is one where you can prep a little bit, but for the most part, we got to go out and play one really good game of baseball, and we can be forever remembered with a championship if we do that.
Who gets the baseball tonight for the Wenatchee Apple Sox? Who's our starter?
Yeah, starting pitcher will be Garrett Ahern. He's been our all-star pitcher, man. He's been good for us all year. He actually was, he hit his inning limit last week, and we gave a phone call to Grand Canyon, and they gave us the green light and said, yeah, if it's for a championship, we'll let you get him one more start. So we'll have Garrett Ahern on the bump. Anybody in the Valley that knows Quincy Vassar, it don't matter if he threw 118 pitches Sunday, he's begging for the ball in relief. So you might see a Quincy Vassar and a couple other guys bounce back from last weekend. So we should be ready to go.
What's the story with Portland's starting pitcher? This is a very good staff, by the way.
Yeah, Joel can probably talk about Rodriguez, their starter.
Freddie's going to go tonight, Joel?
Yeah, that's what we've been hearing.
Well, 6 wins, leads the league. At 54 strikeouts, led the league. His ERA is a minuscule 1.02, which is as good as you're going to get. This Freddie Rodriguez, who gets the ball tonight for the Pickles, is as good at his craft as anybody in the league.
I think it's safe to say he's probably the favorite to win Pitcher of the Year for the league, but at the same time, I think Garrett Ahern is a guy for us who maybe hasn't gotten the acclaim he deserves this summer because he doesn't have the innings necessarily, where Mitch mentioned he was on that innings limit, so Ahern with some starts, he was going to go 2 innings, 3 innings, 4 innings, but we saw him worked up against Victoria last week, and you know, last Saturday against the Harbor Cats, Carson Cormier for them was fantastic. Ahern was right there with them. You know, you go 6 innings, 9 strikeouts in a playoff game. I mean, that plays no matter who you are. So I'm really excited to see what he does in this moment because I think this could be a real opportunity to be kind of a coming out party for Garrett Ahern to put his name on the map for people not just in this league but hopefully across the country with him going to such a big school like Grand Canyon.
Mitch, what's the game plan today for the team? This is uncharted territory. You have everything pretty much scheduled out right till 6:30 tonight. Talk about today's routine.
Yeah, today will be a typical travel day on the road for us. Got in, gonna wake up. We'll have a little team breakfast. Guys will mosey down, and then from there we'll go to the gym. We'll get a lift in, get a little exercise, come back. Everybody's kind of a midday napper. We'll get a light nap. I like to hop on the computer, write the lineup card, kind of break down the last little minute, finalize the game plan a little bit with our assistant coaches, and then be heading to the field around 3:30, 4 o'clock, and start taking some BP and get this thing rolling.
Team chemistry is overrated. There are a lot of really good teams that have players that just don't get along. Joel, you've talked about this. Mitch has talked about this as well. This team, they like each other. They're having fun, which is what baseball is supposed to be. You're supposed to have fun when you're playing it. And they enjoy hanging around each other. And that is all fed into the Apple Sox way, I guess. Is that the best way to put it? I'll let both of you address that.
No, I think that's a good way to put it, Dan. You know, this is a group that a lot of years in the playoffs, as the games go along, you see more and more guys usually have to leave over the course of it. We've only had, I think, one guy have to leave since the start of the playoffs, and you can tell that everyone who is here fully intended to be spending another week in Wenatchee, playing postseason baseball and doing what we did earlier this week. And, you know, I think a big part of what has helped this team be so cohesive over this week was honestly the crowds we had at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium. I mean, for how little time we had to tell people about both Game 3 of the North Division Series and then the North Division Championship game, I mean, we can't thank Apple Sox fans enough for how much they showed up this week, the environment they created. Mitch and I were talking about it yesterday, and it felt like, especially for us on Wednesday night, that felt like the type of stuff that we've seen photos of, but we hadn't had a chance to witness yet with this franchise. So it was really special to be able to celebrate that moment at home. And I think the really fun part now is, even though it's on the road, we've got a chance to add another really special moment to a storied history for this team.
Storied history is correct. This team has a great winning tradition right through about 2013, 2014 with Ed Nags and everything that he did with this program. And then the Wenatchee Apple Sox kind of went into a bit of a stall. I'm not going to, we need to, I don't want to gild the obvious lily, but we just went from being pretty good to just being there. Change of ownership. Jose comes in. And everybody said, are we going to bring back the glory days? We had some coaching turnovers. Mitch Darlington comes on board. And Mitch, you said that my stated goal, is to bring the Apple Sox back up to what it was when Ed Nags made this the best team in the league. And Mitch, you've damn near did it. You, from a personal standpoint, you're a humble guy, but you got to feel a lot of pride right now, bud.
Yeah, it's real close, man. We're getting closer every year. I joke with Joel last night, and I say joke. I'm honestly not joking. I feel like we're not even on the tip of the iceberg of where we're going to be here in the next couple of years as far as the recruiting goes. I think we're only going to get better. We're every year we're taking the next step. We're getting better and better. We're getting quality programs sending us guys. But yeah, this week felt, looking up in the stands and just the atmosphere at Paul Thomas, I just still can envision being in middle school and going to some of those games. I remember in 2012, my senior year, going out and watching that team play, and just seeing those same fans, those same community members in a packed house. I'm sitting there thinking, man, this is getting right. This is what it's about, man. This is Apple Sox baseball. So we're getting close, man. It's still a ways off, but we're getting this thing built.
The Apple Sox family is going to be gathered either down there at Walker Stadium in Portland or gathered around, we hope, their television sets and their radios. Again, we're going to have it for you tonight. We're going to take the Portland Pickles video feed. We're going to mold it in with Joel Norman on the Apple Sox radio network, so you get to hear the mellifluous tones of Storm Joel Norman call the game, because he knows more about this than anybody. So it's the best case scenario. Joel Norman's audio, the video at 6:30 tonight right here on the NCW Life channel. Joel, it's been a wonderful, magical run. We've had a great time. Mitch, thanks for bringing the tradition of winning and fun and just awesomeness back to Paul Thomas Senior Stadium. There's just two teams left, and one of them is us. Coach Darlington, best of luck tonight. We'll all be watching. We'll all be cheering. Joel, win or lose, can I see you on Monday, buddy?
Yeah, we can talk on Monday and hopefully be talking about winning a 7th league championship.
That would be sugar on the ice cream. Coach Mitch Darlington and, Joel somebody or other, joining me on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Go Sox! We'll be right back.
At Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
Most of us are in touch with the internet in one way or another all day long. A fast, secure connection matters. It keeps us entertained, informed, and in touch. Localtel cares about your connection. We know strong, reliable internet with your choice of speed makes life better. If you need fast, reliable internet, or maybe an upgrade, or you just have questions, connect with us by visiting localtel.com or call 509-888-8888 today.
Few things strike fear in the human heart, like the possibility of a rattlesnake bite. Dogs can encounter rattlesnakes on their walks or in their yards, and being curious, often get bitten on their face, neck, and legs. Luckily, a vaccination is available to help neutralize venom so dogs experience less pain and swelling. Even if your dog has received a vaccine, you still need to seek immediate help. Dr. Shauna Bayes and the staff of Paws and Claws care about your pet's health. Call 888-PAWS to schedule your vaccination today.
At Kennedy Group, we understand that buying and selling is more than a transaction, and it's more than just a house. This is where you will gather with friends and family, and where a lifetime of memories will be made. But buying a home is more than memories. Oftentimes, it's your biggest financial decision. The agents at Kennedy Group understand this and provide real estate advice based on your goals and dreams. Call us today, and let's find your happy place.
All right, before we send you on your way down the weekend, quick little programming note. My bad. The game is at 7 tonight. That's after 6, but before 8. I said 6:30 earlier. That's my bad. It's actually at 7 o'clock tonight. So 7 o'clock tonight. Stop whatever it is that you're doing. Again, we want to thank the West Coast League's office for making this work. We want to thank the Portland Pickles who agreed to make all of these things work. Joel Norman, Dave Harold at Sunny FM, the legendary Dave Harold, gave his green light, so we're good to go for the Apple Sox in the West Coast League Championship. Again, 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock tonight right here on the NCW Life channel. All right, let's get to the flash flood thing first of all, because it's a bit of a concern. There is a flash flood warning. It's actually a flash flood watch, I should say. It's in effect, it starts at 11 o'clock this morning. It doesn't have an expiration date. The green splotch that you see on the left-hand side of your screen, that is the geographic footprint of the flash flood watch. And the farther north you go, the better chance you have of a freak kind of a intense storm. That is for today. The big story is going to be tomorrow night. We're finally going to get some rain. We have about a 70% chance of rain right here in the Wenatchee Valley. But there's also about a 30% chance of some thunderstorms. So a pop-up thunderstorm is not out of the question, because there's a pretty powerful wave that's going to move right over the top of our area Saturday evening and Saturday night. So get ready for a stormy night on Saturday night. In detail from the National Weather Service, real quick, sunshine today, high of 86, clear tonight, 62 for the overnight low. As the day progresses on Saturday, the clouds will begin to roll in. You'll see them coming in from the south. Just look towards Mission Ridge. And again, by Saturday night, showers are likely. Associated thunderstorms not out of the realm of possibility. It could be an interesting Saturday night. Go Apple Sox. Have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday. Take care. Bye-bye.
I have no idea what I'm doing. That's why we need you. We need people to run cameras so I can get back down on the broadcast and talk about what's going on. We pay $75 per event. If it's sports, if it's a parade, if it's Apple Blossom, if it's a Super Oval, $75. If that sounds like some extra good money for you, we'd love you to be part of our team. All you have to do is email me, sports@ncwlife.com. sports@ncwlife.com. In the meantime, I gotta go figure out this camera.